Welcome back, Monique. The question we got now is, so I just had somebody in a role and they failed. And I'm realizing I can't do this again. I made a mistake. You've talked previously about getting the right person in there who is the right quality standard, not just meeting the needs of the role. But for whatever reason, this person failed. What are some key things I can do now to make certain I get a superstar this next time? And by superstar, I mean someone who not only meets the needs of the role, and but they're also going to be the quality person I want, and the result of that is they're going to achieve my minimum expectations, but ideally they're going to exceed all of them.
Sure, sure. So some of you may not like the answer that I'm going to give, but find out what part you had to play in the hiring of this person. Yes, that happened. That's in the past. It's over. It's done. This person did what they did and they got fired. It's over. What did you do to allow that to happen? And be honest, did you not write the job description correctly? Was there something off in the job description? Did you feel like you didn't post it in the right place? Did you not do any of the interviewing? Did you leave it to HR to do all the interviewing and then you never met this human being until day one when they've already been hired? You know, what was it about how you hired the person that you could turn up the dial on? Just there are two things that you can change so that you can get the right person in that role. Did you not listen to your gut?
I love it because I've said to leaders for a long time, you don't have an employee problem, you have a leadership problem. So there's 4 management disciplines. You either made a bad hire, you're not managing them well, you're not developing them, or you're retaining them when you shouldn't have retained them when they started to fail, because sometimes they do well for a while and then they fail, but you keep them and you keep hoping it's going to get better.
Yeah, it's
So
not. You know, the definition of insanity. You know, I've had many an executive who have gone through 5, 6, 7 assistants in a year, and I don't know what I'm doing wrong. And I say, okay, well, explain to me their first 10 days or their first 30 days. Oh, I don't know. We don't really have an onboarding program. And then they just get into my email, and I've had to push off a couple of meetings. I'm like, what? Communicate. What can you do better? What can you do better? Not
yeah,
what can they do better? What can you do better to be a better leader?
yeah, no, I totally agree with that. I think looking inward is definitely the most valuable first step.
Yes.
I think the second step is what we've talked about before, is you really have to define the role well
Yes.
and the quality of person you're looking for based on the results you want to achieve.
Absolutely.
And when I use the term superstar, it goes throughout your organization.
Yes.
It really
Absolutely.
does. I mean,
Absolutely.
you're the queen of executive assistants, but we've all had experiences where whether it was somebody serving us a meal, whether it was somebody in any type of customer service environment, or that rare occasion in a healthcare environment where somebody's nice, where they're a superstar. I'm being sarcastic to a certain
Yeah.
extent, but 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 this thing where people just make the experience,
Yeah.
and they also have to be, they're the one that achieves the results.
Absolutely.
So I think that's great. That was a surprise. You gave me a little curveball, but I love it. So
Good.
look internally first. If you want that superstar, what are you doing wrong?
Yeah.
And then how do you up your game and really define the role and the quality and those results that you want to define as success for the role. Great.
That's the most important part, is describing what does success look like for this human being. You know, I'm sure you've run across this 1,000 times in your life where people are hiring department leaders, people managers, directors, someone who's on the top and is managing people, and they hire them because they're good at the job, not because they're good at managing people. And when you're hiring a leader, when you're hiring an executive who's going to manage human beings, there's more than just being good at the job. You have to be a good people manager. And that's a completely different skill set. You know, if you're hiring a director of sales, yes, you need someone who understands sales, but you don't need the top seller, because guess what? They're going to want to be the top seller. They're not going to want to take care of their team. There's different skill sets that go along with that. So define what success is and have them fit that rather than the job.
No, I think that's a really good point to extend this into, and that is that exactly what you say is that this, I think of pro sports. So very few top athletes transition into being great coaches. Now, Steve Kerr with the Golden State Warriors did that. Now, was he ever an MVP? He was not an MVP. And who's the guy with the San Antonio Spurs? The guy who coaches them is Larry. I cannot remember, but he also was a superstar player and then is an awesome coach. And you talk about company values, super tight on the values, huge win record over the losses. And Kerr's been phenomenal with the Warriors, but that's rare.
Yeah.
That's the exception. And a lot of times, like you're indicating, you promote them into management, but you give them no training. There's no coaching and mentoring. You just think they'll know what to do. And then, of course, you have them hire,
Yep.
and they've never been trained on how to hire.
They've
Or
never been
mentored
trained
on
on
how
that.
to hire.
Yeah. You know, as another sports metaphor, if you're looking for a quarterback, are you going to ask the kicker to apply? Are you going to ask the tight end to apply for the quarterback position? It's a different position. There are different skills needed. You probably wouldn't put the kicker in the quarterback position. So talk about the quarterback position, not, you know, that they need to be good at throwing the ball.